called his other half, Gaius was in fact aware of the Albinarch extraction. So that's why you can't fight him, and that's why an Albinarch just had his greaves.
Well, I found these pants. They're pretty cool. And let's look at these. Remembrance of the dancing lion, huge into the scatter tree. The power of its namesake can be unlocked by the finger breeder. Alternatively, can be used to create a body of runes. When the Impaler's army assailed the tower, the ritual of the lion dance was turned towards martial ends. Its
Yeah.
divinity, its fury, its light-footed beauty. And we can get Enraged Divine Beast, which is a charm.
It's a talisman.
It's what news storms, divine beasts are messengers from the heavens, and their rage mirrors the tumult of the skies, of which storms are the pinnacle. And Aashapor, divine beast frost stomp.
If you liked Frost Stomp in the base game, this is better.
I think that's what I used it in. I thought that I used it in DS3.
No, I don't believe there's a Frost Stomp in DS3.
Okay, then it was this. I was using the scythe in DS3. This is weird to just get a frost thing and not either other element, but sure. Once a Carian princess, R'hllana, disavowed her birthright and chose to stand at Mesmer's side instead, knowing full well that not even the brilliance of the moon could grant him succor. Before long, she became known as the Sword of Mesmer. And we've got her twin blades, which is probably what I would get. Carian Light Greatsword embedded with blue glintstone, weapon of R'hllana, the Twin Moon Knight. Two swords as a single armament. When two-handing, a straight sword engraved with golden flame will be carried in the left hand. Here and here alone, where moon and fire are ever together. Moon and fire stance. Assume ready stance. Swords imbued with magic. Follow up with a normal attack. Cast some light waves or a strong attack to perform a spinning attack that bashes the area with flame. Light waves can two follow-up casts, so that is some inputs, which is cool as shit. And the twin moons. Incarnate overlapping twin moons which strike the ground one after another, violently shaking the earth with moonlight. In her childhood, she and her elder sister, R'hllana, met these moons, overlapping as though nestled against one another. So do you not get that last hit?
You do.
Okay.
Alright. Scatter Tree Avatar, let's do that.
The Scatter Tree is the shadow of the Earth Tree, born of dark notions that bear no sense of order, that twist and bend its stalk, rendering it brittle.
And that's the only description we get of the Scatter Tree in the entire game. It's very odd.
Shadow Sunflower Blossom, head of a monstrous Shadow Sunflower manifestation of the Scatter Tree. Then again, it might just be a flower wielded as a weapon. Much like the Scatter Tree itself in appearance, a second stalk winds tightly around the first, almost as if in a tender embrace. Shadow Sunflower Headbutt. Slam down the blossom in a large Shadow Sunflower, sending out shockwaves that threaten foes. Repeated input lasts for two follow-up attacks. Would have thought we'd get more vine-based shit.
And you know what's funny? There is a vine attack, and it is OP as shit. But I don't know where to get it.
Create the halo of golden projectiles, for which are fired towards foes after a brief delay. This incantation channels the force of the Scatter Tree's power, and its gold is accompanied by shadow.
Alright. Remembrance of the Wild Boar Rider. Remembrance of Commander Gaius, hewn to the Scatter Tree. The power of its nation could be unlocked. Yeah. Both were as brothers to the lion, and both were cursed from birth. In spite of, or perhaps because of this very reason, Gaius was both Mesmer's friend and a leader to his men. So you know what is interesting?
What?
One, it mentions that Mesmer and Gaius were elder brothers to Radahn, which means Mesmer predates Radon,
Mm-hmm.
which effectively confirms he might be the first demigod child.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, this guy is an Albanarch, and Albanarchs are considered impure because they don't descend from the Earth Tree. And yet, Mesmer's mantra is, "Those stripped of the grace of gold shall meet death in the hand embrace of Mesmer's flame."
Mm-hmm.
This is a very clear contradiction. It's very interesting. Like, sure, this might be, just an exception he makes, but it feels weird.
And not exactly the same. There's also her. It's interesting
Yeah.
that she would go, that guy's fucking cool. I'm gonna go hang with him.
More importantly, with Radon admired Mesmer, which means he was probably cool at one point, which is interesting. You're also lucky, by the way, he never did the attack I was talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that happened.
He does an attack where he grabs his sword and he thrusts it 3 times into the air, and then there's just an AoE that hits the ground and you can't dodge it unless you get on your horse and jump.
Forgot to read what he can give.
Weapon once wielded by Commander Guy is a combination of a great sword and a lance, weighty and capable of being brought to bear with great force. This armament, what does it say? I can't see.
Shows its true potential when used astride a mount. Gaius himself was never without his boar.
Skill, gravity spinning thrust. A gravity skill honed by the disciples of an alabaster lord uses gravitational power to hang in the air before rotating the body and surging forward. An additional input allows for a flop attack. So
And
that's a fun action war.
yeah.
Blades of stone pulls blade-like clumps of rock from the earth, charging increases potency. Gaius and Radon were good rivals in their youth, and this sorcery was a product of that friendly competition. All right. Now we are going to go back to the exact same grace where you would go to
So
fight guys.
so I can only buy this if I have to remember it, so I'm just not allowed to buy it now. Not that I'm
You can
getting any
buy
of
it.
it now. Okay. But
You can always buy it even without the remembrance.
I'm getting these swords.
hmm They are really cool.
I don't know where they are. I assume they're a regular. They're just
Just
like a.
scroll down.
Here we are.
There they are.
And I still have a meat load.
Meat load?
Med load.
Meat.
MED. Alright, where are we going?
We're going back to the same grace where you would if you could fight Gaius. Not the one you get for killing him. Yep. Because we are not done in this area. There is a secret.
I'm just gonna play around with this move set.
It's really fun, isn't it?
Yeah, you can even do the. So it's a stance. That's
Yeah,
great.
and like the Rolana's cameo, if you have that on, that enhances its attack potency. So press R1, and then R2. It's a good weapon.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna want to sit down in the grace before you continue.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Of course, upgrade that bad boy. Most likely need one more. and it's not outside, and it is not in the elevator.
Other than this,
You are right where you want to be.
should a law of regression this statue? Or something else? I don't know if we got one recently. Damn it. I didn't want to do that. I don't even remember what I had there. It's probably not it. Where's the law of regression?
Law of regression is a incantation,
Oh, okay.
but it does the same pose you're doing now, anyways.
I don't think I... Any hints?
Just think very carefully.
I don't think...
Congratulations, you did it. I didn't figure this out. I had to look it up. So before we proceed, what are your thoughts on Queen Marika as a character?
She seems at both times complacent to the world's plights, and yet sympathetic towards them, but not like she can do much about it until her finally destroying the Elden Ring.
Because for the longest time, as you know, Marika falls into that category of characters who are talked about, but you never get to really meet them and understand who they are.
You only have
So,
word of mouth that they
yeah,
are like that, or how could they be like this if because yada yada. She never
you
speaks, not
have
once. She's
you
only
have
ever given
Gwyn.
direct quotes from Melina.
Yeah. You have Gwyn, who is long since been dead, but you can kind of get a sense for his personality based on the stuff that's left over, which is he was a guy who fought for his age, and then he clung to it greedily as possible and screwed over other people in the process. But he was willing to sacrifice himself for it. And then you have Lawrence from Bloodborne, who is such a non-factor that he's barely mentioned in game since he dies as a beast. And it's kind of up to you to determine what his intentions were, whether positive or prideful. And then you have Marika, where you actually get that characterization, and it's both somewhat maternal but also really malicious.
Mm-hmm.
She not only genocides the fire giants, she enslaves the final one to containing the fell god. And for the longest time, people actually assumed that it might be possible that she might have orchestrated Godwin's death despite the Golden Order. Because the Black Knife assassins are Newman just like she is. So, in that aspect, Marika is a very manipulative character. She's also a planner, and there's not a lot we know of her, even with the dialogue that we
The
get.
whole,
She's very
the
mysterious.
entire reason Tarnished exists is her doing.
And they were told when it happened that you will brandish the Elden Ring. It's like she set up the plan then.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, she was, she's treated more like a plot device than a character,
Yeah.
intentionally so. And
Even to the point where
anytime
her
you,
other half is the boss fight and not her.
and more importantly, any time you look at her face, it's obscured,
Yep.
except for one time. So her entire persona is meant to be hidden from you, and just for the longest time, straight up, her treatment of Malekith is inhuman, and you could say it's the same thing that Ronnie does with Blythe, which is that he might betray her, so she's got to take care of him first. And someone actually had a theory that maybe she might be a Christ-like figure, like she's sacrificing herself for a better world. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Sure, maybe she might want to change the world, but we don't know if it's for altruistic reasons or for spiting the god that controls the Golden Order.
It controls a lot of what she did, even as someone who ruled over the entire existence of this
The
world, and she just has to sit idly by while everything is dictated to her by fingers who communicate to the Golden Order, which could take hundreds of years.
And what's interesting here is what you're about to stumble upon is a secret that I think is so precious to her that she probably hid it along with the Gate of Divinity for this sole reason.
We didn't look at the Great Rune we got, but we'll take care of that in a minute. Mikola's Great Rune. Unless you think we should
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that first.
We can do that first if you want. It's a usable item.
Oh. A great rune, relinquished by Mikola, broken and bereft of its bounty. It retains naught but the power to resist charms. Mikola set off for the tower enshrouded by shadow, abandoning everything, his golden flesh,
His
his
golden
blinding
flesh, his
strength,
blinding strength,
even his fate.
even his fate.
All in an effort to bury the original sin, to embrace the whole of it, and be reborn as a new god. A wall.
This is very pretty.
Tarnished.
Tarnished.
Time for a friend.
Time. Yeah, boy. We missed you. Whee! There's a summon sign on the ground.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. Just because you've already fought them before, it's no biggie.
Yeah.
Not that I doubt you'd have any trouble fighting them.
Yeah, but it's still neat.
It's the one time you're probably going to use her.
Are you gonna stop being edgy and do something? I've messed that up.
No, you can't repulse them.
I always had torches.
No, some of them do. Some of them just have shields. You are bullying this man.
I'd assume I'd only be able to summon her because I went to the finger place.
Yeah, because you talked to her. Alright.
And
You can fight the other one now, or you can go up the hill and ignore him for now.
another Blessing America.
Yep. All right, so here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Up here is special because this is the first place where Marco set foot in the Lands Between. And when you see the name of it, you will understand everything about who she is.
Shaman Village. Oh, look, the Elden Ring theme. Minor Erd Tree. Life. Oh.
You should read everything you pick up here.
Yeah, we'll do it now. Secret incantation of Queen Marika. Only the kindness of gold, without order. It creates a small, illusionary Erd Tree that continuously restores HP of nearby allies. Marika bathed the land of her home in gold, knowing full well that there was no one to heal. Golden braid. Reusable, maybe?
Talisman.
A braid of golden hair cut loose, Queen Marika's offering to the grandmother, who was totally damage negation by the utmost. What was her prayer? Her wish? Her confession? There was no one left to answer, and Marika never returned home again.
So, what do you think is happening here?
Couldn't hazard a guess, really.
What is the name of this place?
The shaman village, or shaman hut? I forget what exactly.
And what happened to the shamans?
I guess they were all gone.
Remember, they were tortured and shoved into the pots.
Oh, I,
So, this is where they come from. People came here, captured her entire family, and butchered them. And then she just left a minor Erd tree here, even though there was no one left to save. This is what compelled her to become a god. And you know what the worst part is?
hmm.
Bonnie Village, the village that did all of this, you know what civilization they became?
Uh, no idea.
The Hornsent.
Hmm.
Lita was right. They really were no saints. We'll go down there later. For right now, just avoid that. Point is, Queen America chose to become a god because her entire family was butchered.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. And you want to know the hint that she was a shaman the whole time?
Hmm.
Godric. The fact that he can just take pieces of flesh and then stick them to himself. So, if anything, other than the Gate of Divinity, I think America hid this place from the world the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very sad place. But anyways, check your map.
At the very least, it's got its own. I don't know. It's pretty now, even afterwards,
You can
which was
see
our
that
goal.
the next ruin is next to this place. Figure
Uh,
ruin.
yeah. No.
To the right.
Oh, over there. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Also, what a coincidence. It's right next to where the village is. What a
This
coincidence.
fucking asteroid here.
Yep. So, you know what's interesting?
Hmm.
If you were to reattach the map to the lands between, the Shaman Village, the Shadow Keep, and that meteorite would all be where Lindell is right now.
Hmm.
So this place at one point was a part of Lindell until America saw fit to hide it. So like, this was one of those moments where I went, why would people ever think that she wanted to kill her own son? Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
I really came to a whole thing where it's like, oh fuck, she's a human being. I didn't think
Mm-hmm.
so.
Humble beginnings is all.
More importantly, it makes Marika slightly disturbing for different reasons, because it's like, all she sacrificed to become a god and do that. But
And then
yeah,
something about. I'm wondering then what was the thing? Was Godwin's death the thing that pushed her to be like, okay, something needs to change? Nothing I've done since
it,
I've everything I've done since I've ascended was it's I couldn't fix this kind of thing. It's like I
I
cannot.
made a
It's like she's like I cannot fix this. All I can do is leave it up to others to fix it.
I had a theory that maybe she removed death from the Elden Ring because she didn't want the tree to burn, but now I think it's more obvious why she did it. She
Mm-hmm.
literally lost her entire family, and then she lost Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh.
What do you think these guys do when they're not just endlessly patrolling?
Nothing.
I ask because, like, you still need to sleep. In theory.
I mean, well, that's why there's two of them.
We both have the same idea. You got me. Oh! I'm gonna keep poking you.
Ooh, how did you avoid that?
Le bon.
That
Uh-oh.
Ooh, you're getting very dicey with it. Ooh, 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 excellently done.
I'm going to attempt to save.